I made a shocking discovery today when I was hanging out over at MEUK's Discord server.
Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well,
level. A level is a tool. Can we agree on that?
Sure, yeah.
Right, so it is a tool for a specific purpose, right?
I could say for multiple purposes, but okay, sure.
Yeah, but what the main purpose is for establishing a, let's call it a level for now. But the tool is a level, right? It has to be in a very particular position, right? In order for it to, let's call it level.
Mm-hmm.
Right, now that very particular position, can you describe it any other way?
I'm not making the argument, so no, I would care not to describe.
So you would say you have no way of describing that particular position that a level the tool establishes other than saying it is level. And that is the only describer you can put to that position that level is.
That's not what I said, but
no.
That was a nice try.
Okay, well, go on then. You give us your best.
What's that?
Give us your best example of what you think level is then.
I'm not going to make a bunch of claims about.
Okay, well, you don't have to then, right? You don't have to. Don't make any claims. I'll tell you. For what I think it is for me. I think the level position would have to be equalized. It would have to be no higher or lower on each end, because then it would have a slope on it. It has to have zero slope in either any direction. That's why it's that's why it's a plane, right? Because if it tilts down at any corner, then it's not on that plane. There's a tilt on it, and it can't be right. Now, it is also. No, you're leaving me to answer this now. You didn't want to answer. You didn't know.
I had a question.
You said I don't know. So I let you, Bev, explain to me a bit more about level, right? Now, as well as it being not tilting in any place, right? It is also perpendicular to a vertical. Right, or a plumb bob that's hung above it. It will be perpendicular to that level surface, level plane.
Cool.
Yeah? Would you agree with that?
Sure.
Okay, so all of that description you could have said, but you didn't. Right? But that you already had that waiting, right?
No, I'm asking you to describe your own conceptualization of the measurement and observation you want to make. Not my job.
No, yeah, like you're in a car or something. You're doing, I don't know. You're not ready to be able to watch this demonstration that you're asking for, but you're quite willing to come back some other time, right? And I'm not ready to do it just yet. It's getting late now, and we can come back tomorrow. We're like, hey, what about that? Do you do it tomorrow? I was going to do it anyway. I was saying to everybody I'd like to walk everybody through it. But you would have to just sit there and watch it, right?
I would love to hear your presentation on how you're defining it and how you plan on making
defining
this observation. It. Yeah, that's what you just did.
I just defined level for you.
Well, you juxtaposed that with horizontal.
No, I didn't. Did I say horizontal? No. I just said perpendicular to vertical, right? Perpendicular.
Yeah, perpendicular to vertical.
Yeah. You said horizontal. I did. You must have put that there in your head. We were just talking about level.
So level is horizontal to you then?
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
Oh, nice. I was talking about our conversation last night earlier.
Which one was it?
The one we had last night.
I actually can't remember what we what we were talking about last time. I've
Oh, I
had
was
a
just,
crazy day
I,
at work, so
I
I've
was
like
just
forgotten
saying.
18 things.
Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, I was just asking you. I was just saying how I was. We were talking about the what's the word I'm looking for? Process in which we're gonna do that is level horizontal.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. See, did you have any time to think about it and any criticisms with it, or
I mean, I don't have any particular criticisms right now, from what I heard from it.
nothing? So you think it'll probably work then?
What's define work for me?
Well, not for you, but I mean, do you think it'll probably get the results one way or the other, whatever they are, that it'll show decent results?
I think it has the potential to. Like I said, I think the proof's in the pudding, right?
What does that mean? Like the proof's in the answer, or the proof's in?
The proof's in the pudding, not the feeling of fullness. It's the proof is within, like, what's the actual thing that happens, what are the actual conditions under which it's held, and how
The
it's
actual
measured.
measurements at the end, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't it kind of like
together with the methodology?
Have
Like,
you
is the
got
methodology right?
Have you got a picture of that calibration thing?
Oh yeah, you were supposed to get that picture.
I didn't I post it the other day?
No, the one that your dad used to use or whatever.
Oh, my grandpa.
Grand.
So
Yeah.
it was that exact thing. I don't have the picture of that one. I'm going down to southern Indiana this weekend. Now I'll try to get a picture of the. I know exactly where it is. Out of the
Yeah,
farm.
that'd be cool
So
to
I'll
see,
find
like
it.
the board. Yeah, you're talking about the piece of 2x4 or whatever it was they put the hole in.
Yeah, so it's just that thing that I posted. Plus, it is just mounted on a U-shaped 2x4. That's about, the each of the U's are about, I'd say 6 inches tall or 8 inches tall, and it's a 10-foot 2x4 that it sits on, so that you can look through the hole on one end and look at the other end and see the level, right?
Are you saying there's like a bevel all the way down the 2x4 that's a U-shaped kind of thing in the middle?
Not.
What is it with people that are always traveling coming on?
On the one end, you match it. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now. Yeah.
Sorry, it's the idea that when you look at one end, and the level of the water, and you look at the other end, you match up the top of the meniscus on each side to get your level.
And is there?
Can I just get a question? Can I just clarify, Meister? Are you using the water level as a sighted leveling tool?
Over about a 10-foot span, yeah.
So you're looking at one meniscus in one vial, and sighting that over a plane to the meniscus in the next vial.
We use it to build fences usually.
But what I don't understand is, what I'm curious about is, are you saying you're putting you have 2 fence posts that are 10 feet apart, and you're putting a cross member in between, right? Is that what you're kind of saying?
And so what you usually do is you put a cross member in it, right? That's going to be level with the other side. And so instead of over a 10-foot span, what's kind of hard sometimes with the spirit level is that you can't get a spirit level that's going to have enough accuracy for you based on its meniscus and its little bubble. Yeah, spirit level. That's going to give you enough accuracy to see it. So what you do is you just put the 10-foot water level thing on it. We always called it a water level.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
Yeah, and you look through one end so that you can match up the other side, and it gives you a little bit more of an. Now, is it perfectly level every single time? No. The idea is that you get close enough so that even from far away, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, right? I want to ask you a couple of things about this. Actually, I'm kind of interested. So, you have your spacing for your posts are 10 feet apart. Is that what you're saying? And your fence,
No,
and then sorry,
it's gonna be a little. It'll be a little bit more than that.
Oh, so the water level doesn't go from post to post then?
No, it doesn't go from post to post. It just
Why
sits
wouldn't you guys
on the
just
top.
extend it so it goes from post to post, and then you could line up your board wherever the water level line is, instead of looking down it?
Just so 10 foot. Usually we'd have from 12 to 15 foot spacings on them.
Yeah, it's only another 5
they're pretty
feet
big.
max.
Yeah.
Can you see in the
I have a 12-foot one or 15-foot one.
Can you see in the debate discussion?
No, I'm sorry, I'm driving right now.
Oh, right. Well, we got sent this thing, and it sounds a bit like what you've got, like the water level on there, but he's got like extendable sections on it.
Oh, this is real cool. So,
I thought you said you were driving. Don't be looking at that while you're driving.
That's the one I was looking for the other day when Meisty was in here.
This is actually really cool. So it's not exactly like this, but it's really close. The idea of a U shape is there, except the only difference is, so on each of the sides there, you have another little 2x4 that goes up about 8 inches, about like what this is right here, and you drill a hole in one side, probably about the size of a $50.
How big's that?
Here in the United States? Yeah, like big enough. So about if you put your thumb and your finger, or your index finger, and make a hole, that's about how big it is.
Your thumb and your index finger.
Well, you see the way that's got extendable blocks. Like, can you not just?
Yeah, that's real smart. I never even thought about that. That's real cool.
So that you put the water level in it like that.
Yeah, that's real neat. I like that.
So if you extended those blocks 10 or 15 feet and just put them on your fence post, they would tell you if they're level or not, right?
Yeah, and it's essentially the exact same concept. Is what you do is you sit this thing on your board while you're getting it. You have somebody on the other side lifting the board up, and you just wait till you can see both the meniscus through each side, and then it's level. And you get, I mean, the cool thing about it is you actually get more accurate than a spirit level quicker, right?
But surely, if you've got water in the tube, do you not think the water's level? Why are you sighting it? I don't understand why you're sighting it.
So that you can keep it. So one person's on one end as they're lifting it up, and you say, "Keep going, keep going, keep going," right there.
Yeah, but why are you optically sighting the water levels? Because obviously, you would imagine that the water level within the tube, it being one body of water, equalizes out.
Yeah, but the entire point here is that you're trying to make sure that the thing that you're sitting it on, and you're raising up on the post, is at the right level, so you don't have to run back and forth. Basically, the thing lets two people build a fence without having to keep running back and forth to seeing when is it level or not.
Okay, this is your fancy water level calibration machine.
No, it's not a calibration machine. It's just a site to say you don't want to use the spirit level for this. You want to check it against something that you can have a little bit more accuracy with.
So what did you calibrate your water level with? How did you calibrate? When you came in here the other day, you said that the water level needs to be calibrated.
No, what I said is how are you calibrating the measurements that you're getting from your water level? So you're saying, that's exactly what I said.
You said the water level needs to be calibrated.
I said the measurement from the water level needs to be calibrated.
No, there is no measurement from the water level because the water level is the water level.
So let me be more clear. If I misspoke the other day, let me say it very clearly. What I'm trying to say is, if you're trying to claim something is level, I'm saying, how have you calibrated however you're measuring this to ensure that, yes, it is level? Check your measurement. That's all I'm saying.
The level would be calibrated, right? Auto levels are calibrated.
So
And
if you use
how did you know that your fence panels were level without calibrating your water level? You're trusting your water level
Well,
that it's
it
giving
is
you
interesting.
level fence panels.
Yeah, because it is interesting, Arsie. You did say that it was more accurate and quicker than using
Spirit level.
A spirit level, yeah. Because you don't have to have 3 people with a spirit.
But it sounds like you put quite a bit.
What
of
do you mean
trust in it
3
because you said it's
people
more
with a
accurate.
spirit level? What?
No, what
Only
I'm
needs
saying
one
is
person with a spirit level.
Would you listen? I'm trying to say when you're building a fence,
Yeah.
and you got one person on one side and one person on the other.
Yeah.
This little tool that we use, very similar to the one you're putting up right here, lets you sight it without having to like go back and forth all the time.
Yeah, but you're using like a fence. Is it the rails? Because you're not like the uprights. They're vertical, right? You're not bothered about them being level, are you? So it's like the pieces of wood that go from each upright to the next upright.
Exactly.
Right, well, could you not just put your spirit level on that piece of wood?
Yes, but then
and then use the piece of wood as a straight edge.
No, but listen, then you would have to go walk out and make sure that it's level each time. Who's going to
No, you wouldn't. You just put the level on the thing, and when the bubble is in the middle, that means the device called a level is in the horizontal position.
Yes, but
and therefore the piece of wood that it's on.
But if you have 15 feet and you put a 3-foot spirit level on one side, you are not going to be able to get a sufficiently exact level.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, that's what the tool is for.
No, you can always use a longer level.
Yeah,
no, you don't. You can just put a little tiny level on a piece of wood. The wood then becomes a straight edge.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
The whole piece of wood becomes a straight edge.
Not over 15 feet. You're not going to be able to get accurate.
Yeah, if it's 150 feet and if it's a straight edge, then
If you've got a straight edge.
You cannot use that. You cannot use 150-foot accuracy on a 2-foot spirit level.
If it's a dead straight thing, then because it's a new straight edge.
Scalpel, you can back me up on this one.
Whoa, what am I backing up? I wasn't listening. Sorry.
You cannot use 150-foot length to level
straight edge
with a 2-foot
straight edge. Get your word straight. Straight edge was the word.
Sorry, 150. Yeah, I still didn't hear what he said.
If you have 150-foot straight edge and you put a level on the top of it at one end, and then level that straight edge, that level would be accurate, wouldn't it, for the whole length of that straight edge?
Yeah. I don't see why not. You're saying it's not, Arsie?
I'm saying that if you adjust it 3 degrees, you're not going to be able to read it on the one end.
No, but listen. If we can all come to an agreement that it's actually factually level at one end, would you not agree? It's going to be like, never mind. What if you're 3 degrees off, or a millimeter of a degree off, or a second of a degree off, or any of this shit? If we could come
that's what I'm trying to say.
No, but we're talking hypothetically. We don't have 150-foot long straight edge. So, obviously, this is kind of a...
We have LIGO, if you want to go bigger. Let's pretend LIGO.
Miles. Like, wouldn't any place you put a level on LIGO, it would be level? Isn't that the idea of LIGO? Oh.
How long's LIGO? That's like 4 kilometers.
4 kilometers.
Yeah, they're also not using a water level for
2, I think.
No, we're not talking. We're talking about spirit level at this moment in time, not the water level.
They're not using a spirit level for LIGO.
LIGO.
No, we're just using LIGO as an example of a straight edge, because we've heard from some people that it is the straightest thing in the universe.
Straightest, flattest thing in the universe.
Okay.
Right, well, so if you put a level on it, would that not be level all the way along it?
The question isn't...
Yeah, it is. That was exactly the question.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that it is not accurate. The spirit level is not accurate.
Can you answer the question? What would happen to the level placed on the longest, straightest thing in the universe.
It would look level.
It would be level.
It would be level.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you.
And
All the way along, right?
If you did that in the middle, it would be level. Yeah.
Yeah, but if
And
it's
if
off,
you did it at one end, it would be.
we're not talking about if it's
It
level.
would
We're
register.
talking about if it's off.
It would register level, would it not?
We're talking about if it's off, though, not how
Just
level
answer the question. Oh. Sorry.
If it's on a tilt, it would be on a tilt all the way along, wouldn't it?
Arsie, can I ask you a question? Like, seriously? Like,
Yeah,
I know you called me to try and defend this argument of yours, and obviously I didn't take the position you were in, but whatever. Like, let's pretend for a second that the longest, straightest, flattest thing in the world, in the universe, sorry, was on a 45-degree angle, and we put the same spirit level on it. Would you not agree that no matter where we would put that spirit level on there, it would still read a 45-degree angle?
Yes, that's not my point. My point is that you can't, if you want to measure 2 or 3 degrees off, which you're going to be able to see on a significant post, for example, you're not going to want to use the spirit level to try to measure 2 or 3 degrees off.
Right, but it seems like when
that's what I'm trying to say.
For me, one of my frustrations sometimes with talking with, honestly, yourself and other people that are much like yourself is that we take examples and it seems like you try to complicate the shit of your own example. I mean, my understanding was by your example that the straight edge was level. If the straight edge is level at one end, I mean, can we not agree it's level at the other end without you having to say, yeah, but what if it's 3 degrees out on one end? Well,
but
if it's 3 degrees out on one end, wouldn't it be 3 degrees out on the other end? Like, why would you bring that into the mix? It doesn't make sense.
Sure, Scalpel. What I'm trying to say is that the point of asking for calibrations is to ensure that if you're going to make claims about being level, then you need to ensure that you understand the level of accuracy.
But we talked about this yesterday. The equipment, I mean, if there's professional surveyors, and one would assume they know and understand the equipment, it's going to be calibrated properly. Secondly, I know you don't like the idea of not a professional surveyor using survey equipment, but Bev does have the equipment, and it is properly calibrated, and he does have proof of that calibration, as well as it's a brand new unit, right?
I have no problem with that. I
so
understand.
What is the problem then exactly?
I want to see what he's actually going to measure, what it actually ends up looking like, what the actual stuff is, and then let's look at the results.
I've told you a couple of times in Betty's server, plus yesterday I went over it and I asked you for any constructive criticism or advice that you might have about how to make it a better observation, as well as soon as you entered this room today, I also asked you again, have you thought about what I said yesterday, and do you have any constructive criticism? I mean, now would be the time to say it.
Well, not
instead of waiting. Well, yeah, but listen, it's not fair to say I got nothing to say, but then when he goes and does it, say, oh, well, you should have recorded the day of the week that it was, and the temperature that day, and the zenith of what the sun was that day, and was it a full moon, and all this other shit, because at that point, a guy spent... No, but hold on. A guy spent a lot of time, invested a lot of time, potentially money, to do something. So if there's something that you need to say, I think you should say it now rather than waiting until after.
No, that's his prerogative, number one. But number two, sure.
Yeah, but I'm asking you nicely.
If you're going to look through the atmosphere, sure. If you're going to look through the atmosphere, then you need to make sure that you're taking atmospheric conditions into play, that you describe them, and that you show how you measured them.
Okay, so when do atmosphere, at what distance would you say atmospheric conditions are to be considered? Like at 10 feet? Do you think we need to worry about atmospheric conditions at 10 feet? Like if it's a nice day out? Okay, 20 feet?
I would say at 1,500 feet and more, you need to probably take atmospheric.
1,500? What about 100 meters?
I said 1,500 feet. That was probably me spitballing. That would make it good.
What, sorry? Go on, sorry, go to say that again.
Sorry, spitballing. What did you say? I missed what you said, Arsie.
I said 1,500 feet probably sounds like a good limit to say, like, okay, I'm making an observation based on optics. I better take atmospheric conditions into effect.
So 50 meters.
I said 1,500, 1,500
500 meters.
I said 1,500 feet, so yeah, about 500 meters.
What's that? Yeah, 500 meters. So if Bev chose to do differential leveling, foresight, backsight at 100 meters per loop, so that's only 50 meters on the foresight and 50 meters on the backsight, would you then say he needs to worry about atmospheric conditions? I mean, assuming it's not a fucking foggy day with a forest fire next door, right? Like, sure. I'm talking a fairly nice day or whatever, sunny, clear.
But that's the whole point. Like, you want to make sure you document that, like, yeah, there isn't a forest fire. Like, you know what I mean? Like, make sure that you say, here are the atmosphere.
Okay. Anything else you should report?
Hang on.
Since we're focused on this.
Maisty, what if the measuring equipment already has a calibration in it for taking into consideration atmospheric effects?
Cool. Then go ahead and make sure you name that.
Sorry?
I said cool. Then go ahead and name that.
Name it?
Yeah. But hold on.
Hang on. What do you mean? Hang on. What do you mean by name it?
What I'm just saying is make sure that you include that when you're talking about the methodology. Say, like, we count for atmospheric effects using this tool and this calibration.
Wait. The tool accounts for atmospheric effects?
Yes.
The end.
Well, how do you know?
Because it's calibrated within the tool.
It's built into the machine. It's built into the tool.
No, you just look through it.
Here's my point, though. Arsie already, unless I've been mistaken, has already admitted that 50 meters is not a long enough distance to even be worrying about this. So to me, it feels like an obfuscation tactic.
Yeah.
That we spend any more time on it. Like, it's not an issue.
Can I give you the other one as well, Arsie? Because I don't think you know what a water level is. Right? The water level equalizes out from each end, right? So each end of the water level are at the same elevation, right? Or they're on the same horizontal. They even out and they equalize. So you don't need to sight one from the other. You don't need a sight line.
Okay.
So there's no atmospheric conditions within a water level.
Great.
Because you do physics, right? We had to go last time. You said you're a physics teacher, right?
Yes. Well, I was talking more so about the surveying equipment, especially if you're going to use, what is it called? Like, not the auto level.
Well, the surveyors and everybody else can do that, right?
Yeah,
that's for other people to check.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about atmospheric conditions based on the water level. I never said that.
Okay. Well, we're just checking. We're putting some marks on posts.
Well, it's your experiment. You're the one who...
It's not an experiment.
It's an experiment. Just got an upgrade.
Is it?
Bev.
I know. How did we turn it into an experiment?
Oh, it's your observation. You do what you want with it.
Oh, it's not an experiment now then, is it not?
That I simply said experiment as a colloquial expression. You can call it whatever you want. Your measurement needs to have documentation. That's all I'm saying.
What do you mean, measurement?
That's what I said.
Look, we're checking a horizontal. So where's the measurement?
How do you ensure it's horizontal?
What? Pardon?
How do you know it's horizontal?
You use tools that establish a horizontal, and you check it.
How do those tools check it?
You get more tools, and you get somebody else with the tool, and you check it again with your tool, and then you check it again. You start at a different point. You close your loop and end at a different place. So you check it again, and then you get somebody else to check it. Then you get different tools. You get laser levels, you get theodolites, you get auto levels, and then you bring in a water level as well. Check it with a water level. Check. All practical. Observations all the time. Repeatable. demonstrable.
And that's not a measurement to you, using it the overlight?
Because you would end with a horizontal. So where's the measurement? You measure from the horizontal, right?
So you are measuring.
How do you measure a horizontal? What is it you measure? You put a mark on one, and then you use the tool to transpose that mark onto another post. It's on the same horizontal. What's the measurement that you're planning on documenting?
What's your mark?
I don't know. Where is it? Are we going to put it on a metal bar?
Yep.
We'll grind it into a metal bar.
I reckon wooden one.
We'll use a wooden one. We'll use a chisel then, or a nail.
We could use a nail.
Yeah.
Just tap a nail into the wood, and that'll set your horizontal datum, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Does it? So
wouldn't that be a datum?
Yeah.
Isn't a datum just a starting point?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah. No problem.
Okay. So then
what were you saying about datums the other day? That there's two different kinds or something, Arsie?
Yeah, there's vertical and horizontal.
No, but that's not because when I said over in Betty's server, I said we're only really worried about the vertical, right? And you're like, no, you got it all. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to reiterate that?
Not really.
Why?
Because this isn't a very fruitful conversation.
Sounds ridiculous, right? I can see the problems you'd have with the horizontal datum.
No, there's no problem with it.
Well, where? On which axis? The X or the Y?
I said there's no problem with it. What do you mean on which axis?
Well, the horizontal. Like everybody knows, like the vertical is on the Z axis, right? And that's how elevations are done. A change in the vertical means a change in elevation. But because the vertical is just like a line, then it's dead easy to put a mark on that and measure elevation. You do it with levels, tools. But that would make the horizontal like on a plane. So you'd have like a, I don't know, where would it'd be on the X and the Y axis. It'd be really hard. You'd need like a coordinate system to position yourself.
Yeah.
On the X and the Y.
That's true. Bev, what's your point?
Well, where's the horizontal datum? I mean, I never heard anything about it. I would imagine that's why you're struggling with God to just ask you.
I'm not struggling with anything.
Okay.
Sounds to me like you are.
Go on then. Where's the horizontal datum? If the vertical, we all know what the vertical datum is, like mean sea level. Where's the horizontal datum?
Honestly, I don't know why this conversation would be considered unfruitful. I mean, we can figure out. Pardon me?
Mostly because it just keeps going around and around with you guys not actually making a point.
Well, you're not answering the question.
I asked you a question though about.
Well, I'm not the one making the claim. I'm not the one making the claim about levels and verticals.
Well, actually, you were the other day about datums. That was my question. I'm like, can we talk about that? Because
no, you guys are trying to establish your horizontal, and I'm saying, how do you do that?
With the tool.
Yeah, I've told you how they're going to do that like about 3 or 4 times, and I've
I know,
asked
and I'm
you
saying
for constructive criticism. And depending on the day, you either know nothing about.
I didn't say nothing.
Surveying. Hold on. Depending on the day, you either know nothing about it or you know a lot about it. But today.
When did I say I know a lot about it or nothing about it? Did you ever hear me say that?
Last night, you pretty much said you know nothing about it. You didn't want to comment on anything. And then over at Betty's server...
Not wanting to comment and not knowing something are two different things.
Well, you actually said, I don't know. And then anyhow, over
Just
at
because
Betty's
I don't
server,
know, just because I don't know a thing doesn't mean I don't know anything.
Okay, do you remember over at Betty's server when I mentioned we'd establish a datum and you jumped down my throat and said, I don't even know what I'm talking about, datums, and I finally came across someone that really knows what the word datum means and all that shit? You remember that conversation or no?
Yes, I remember.
Okay. So I'm asking now, what was it that you were saying then so I can try and have someone on my side, per se, not really that they're sides or anything, but
I
help
posted
me understand what you were saying.
I posted exactly what I meant by that. If you'd like to go back and like rehash it, you're welcome to go back and find it. I don't have the link that I was showing you that was explaining what I was talking about on hand. But if you'd like to talk about it, you're welcome to bring it up.
Yeah, but you said you knew all about it, but now you're unwilling to explain what you meant. I don't get it. Like, it's a fair question, Arsie. I'm not. It's not a gotcha. It's a fair question.
What would you like me to explain?
Exactly what you were talking about in Betty's server.
What specific thing do you want me to talk about?
Well, for instance, I brought up datums, and you jumped down my throat that I didn't know what a datum was.
I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, what did you say then?
I said that you're only referencing one type of datum, and there are other types.
Okay, so how many other types is there?
That's not a question that we talked about.
Sure it is.
Well, that's one that he's asking you now.
Well,
why can't you just answer the question, Mighty?
Because it's a vague question that doesn't mean it.
How many other types of datum are there?
How is that a bad question? Come on, Arsie. Why are you playing these games, dude?
So you want me to name every type of datum?
No, just give us a few other types. Come on.
No, that's not the question.
Yes, you said how many types.
Okay, so you're gonna obfuscate. You're gonna obfuscate the shit out of this conversation.
How about the standard? How about the standard datum plane?
Okay, how about this? Let me ask a different question. How about?
Hey, I just named one for you.
Hold on. Why don't you tell me where I stepped wrong and what I said at Betty's server? Because you had a problem that day and what I said. So why don't you re-explain to me what I said wrong?
I don't remember exactly what you said.
Can you just give us that other one? What was it called again? Standard datum plane, did you say? Would this would definitely be not a vertical datum, right?
Oh no. Arsie, you're gonna answer this question.
What's the question? What's the question?
This is why this conversation isn't very fruitful. You don't listen and you don't answer the questions.
What's the question?
Bev?
Is this this standard datum plane? Would this be a vertical reference datum?
It is. It does reference. It does have a vertical reference to it.
Okay, well that's what he was asking you. He said there are vertical reference frames. Is there any others? And you've just given us another vertical. I know that's no good.
There are multiple types of vertical.
Yes, there's multiple types of vertical datums. That's not what he asked.
Standard datum plane is one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you got any other than the vertical datums, please? That's what you were asked for. It's not very good if you keep giving us a load of vertical datums, is there?
Arsie, I gotta say, I've always felt that you've been honest and a stand-up guy, but I don't know lately, man. I don't know what's going on with you. It seems like you're a different person when you're at Betty's server.
Yeah, Scalpel, that's your prerogative. Luckily,
it's not a prerogative.
My point is
hey, I think he's he's an honest guy to talk to.
Well, what am I being dishonest about?
Mighty, shut up and let him finish his point.
So, Scalpel, all I'm doing is I'm looking for the reference that the reason you hear me not talking is because I'm going back to Betty's server, scrolling up days before to find the exact reference that I gave you.
Fair enough. Whatever, man.
So Scalpel, what's dishonest about that?
It's the conversation, the way it's going. had a completely different demeanor and everything else over there. And I mean, Buster's in here. He was there. He witnessed the conversation. We've already discussed the difference in your demeanor from then to now.
So Scalpel, your perception of my demeanor doesn't really have very much bearing on this. What I'm trying to do is be honest. And go back, because you asked me about what you said and what I said back. So I'm being honest and going back and finding those exact things that I posted.
Right. Okay. You want to talk about the GPS stuff too while we're at it?
No, Scalpel, my question is, what's dishonest about that?
Well, what?
Hang on, Scalpel, right? He's asking you a question and you're jumping into the answer. He has still yet to give an answer to the question that you asked him about 10 minutes ago. So come on, Steve.
Here's the other datum right here. I found it.
So, but my question, I guess, now would be, when we were talking the other day, you kind of came across like you outright said you're talking to someone that knows what a datum is. That's what you told me. So now I'm starting to wonder, if you have to go back to Betty's server to find out what the fuck you were talking about, that does bring up the question, were you being dishonest in Betty's server, or are you being dishonest now? Because I'll tell you why. Let me hold on, please.
What am I being dishonest about?
Hold on.
Have I got to mute you?
No, I'm about to tell him. Because over there, you went on the spiel about how you know about datums, and I didn't know what I was talking about. And so now I'm starting to wonder, were you just Googling what you were saying as you were talking at the time? Because it kind of feels that way at this point. Because it feels like you're like, I don't have a fucking clue what I was talking about.
Well, you're welcome to think that. Not my prerogative. The point is I wanted to be accurate about the exact thing that I gave you.
Okay, so what did you give me? What was the point then?
The other point is that there are horizontal datums. I made sure to get the exact quote of what I said in Betty's server with the exact link that I posted for you.
Okay, so were you posting it here?
I posted it in debate chat.
Let's take a look at it. So do you think that a vertical datum is important to this?
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Yes.
Horizontal.
Yes.
Sorry, horizontal datum.
Yes.
Sorry, I meant to say horizontal.
Yes.
Where's the... So how do you think a horizontal datum, like, we decide where the horizontal datum be, right? Like if I go stick a post in the middle of a field, that's where the horizontal datum would be, right? At that point, when I tell a surveyor, can you transfer the horizontal from point A to point B, then he's only concerned about the vertical. I've given him the horizontal, right?
Depends on what you're trying to do, but yeah, they could be unconcerned
well,
everything's
about it. Okay, listen, Arsie, just so you know, so you don't have to obfuscate anymore about this particular issue, everything revolves around doing this observation. So if you say to me, well, it depends what you're doing, you know what the context of the conversation is. Sure. I don't think we have to go off a different road, do we?
So
if you're trying to build a road, well, no, we're not trying to fucking build a road.
So Scalpel, for this particular measurement, the horizontal datum is really important because it gives you a reference point as to where your vertical datum might be affected by what you're actually putting the measurement equipment on.
Okay.
Actually, I was talking to a surveyor today. They didn't seem to care about the horizontal datum. Yeah. They just cared about I said, listen, what I want to do is put a post in the middle of a field and put another post half a mile away from that post and yet a third post full mile away from the first post.
Yes.
And he said, yeah, no problem. He didn't care about where the field was or what the field was doing. He just said, yeah, I can do it. Like, fuck off.
Well, of course he can do it because he has multiple reference points that he's using when he calibrates that measurement for you.
No, I told him I would give him where I wanted.
Can I just... Can I come in now? Because you've just said calibrate a measurement. What exactly do you mean by calibrating a measurement, please?
Yes. So when you make a claim about any given measurement, you have to have a second tool or reference frame that measurement equipment or measurement itself is calibrated against. For example, if I say I'm going to tell you that this is 5 miles long, and I say I am measuring that using my odometer. Then you say, okay, well, how accurate is your odometer? I can say, well, it's down to 0.01 miles. Say, okay, great. So where I say 5 miles is, and where, I don't know.
How much longer do I have to listen to this bullshit?
I don't know. He's like, wait, why are you measuring a distance of 5 miles with an odometer? We're talking about a reference frame of a vertical datum to measure a curvature, aren't we?
Because
let's stay specific.
He always has to talk about what we're not doing rather than talk about what we are doing.
Well, I am talking about what you're doing.
No, you're not.
You're trying to measure a fucking road, you turnip.
Okay. So if you're going to try to tell me this thing is straight or it's level, you need to tell me how you measured it.
Auto level, water level, laser level, theodolite, GPS. Any others? Anyone think of any others?
That's perfect.
Optical level.
Yeah, optical.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh,
and if you do each one of those, now here's my question about your methodology to draw your conclusion. If and when you find a deviation, what will you conclude? And if and when you do not find a deviation between any of those, what will you conclude? Well,
since they're all tools for measuring a horizontal, then I would hope that they all have varying degrees of accuracy of measuring that horizontal. Now, I think if we use all of these different tools, we'll be able to tell which is the most accurate and which is not the most accurate. Do you agree?
How?
Well, because they will be all different measurements, won't they?
Yes. So if they're all
and if we keep doing it, if one of them can't get anywhere near and it's always a centimetre out, then that one will be the least accurate. Right? And then if one of them gets within a millimetre, that one will be the most accurate.
Gets within a millimetre of what? That's
horizontal.
How do you know what horizontal is?
We use all of these different tools to establish it.
So how do we know we're even alive?
Yeah. No, but here's the whole point. If you were saying, you know what, based on my theodolite, I'm finding level, or based on my water, I'm going to find level, or based on my, any other optical uses, you can say, this is what I established as true level, or you could use the methodology of finding the mean between all of them.
Meisty, I've got a question.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Bev, hang on. Meisty, what do you think they used to build the level floor in the levelest, straightest thing in the universe?
Use the laser.
A laser. An optical tool for a 4 kilometre long.
You think that's strange, that? You think the laser's the most accurate?
Did they record the conditions of the day, do you think, when they used that laser level, Arsie? You think they showed up for the construction site and recorded humidity and everything else?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Gods, can I just ask you, you've called a few surveyors, right? What's their idea of the laser level? Is a consensus from the surveyors?
If there's high humidity, it's not worth the damn, is what I've heard.
Why is that?
Why? Because it'll refract.
Oh,
well, I don't know. Like, do you ask the surveyors why, or do you just sort of take what they say, right? Because you're divining their thoughts. I mean, they just say it's not accurate, don't they?
Here's what I'm trying to point out right now. Are you comparing a laser level that a surveyor used with LIGO?
No, we said when you were making LIGO. What? Did they use LIGO to measure the floor for LIGO? Arsie.
I'm asking you.
You're asking me if they use LIGO to measure
question.
the floor for LIGO. No, they didn't. Because LIGO wasn't there when they were building the foundations for the fucking thing that you're talking about.
I ask you the question, are you comparing a laser level that a surveyor used with LIGO?
No, we were asking you what they measured the floor for LIGO with. Are you comparing that tool to actual LIGO?
I have no clue what they used to measure the floor.
Oh.
And
you said a laser.
Yeah, you said a laser.
You said a laser.
Oh, I thought you meant what do they use to measure a level of LIGO?
That's exactly what he said. Yes.
According to our expert or resident expert on LIGO, the floor is not level anyhow. LIGO.
Okay, cool.
We know who that would be. Your buddy Zanuck.
Okay. I'm not Zanuck.
So are you claiming that the floor is completely level at LIGO then?
No, I'm not.
Saying? What's your claim?
I have no clue about what the floor is like at LIGO. Other than
straight, isn't it? It's meant to be straight. You know that though, don't you? The longest, straightest thing in the universe.
The floor is, or the laser is?
I don't know. Zanuck started with the roof of it, so
No, it was the floor. It was the floor. Definitely the floor, because you can't roll balls. You can't roll balls on the laser, can you? No, so it's the floor. Yeah, definitely the floor.
Why are you asking me about Zanuck's claim? I have no clue about the floor or the roof at LIGO.
Okay, so you don't trust Zanuck then? Or you don't trust us talking about Zanuck?
No, I'm just saying I'm not going to go make a bunch of claims about how the floor at LIGO and the roof at LIGO.
You're not going to support Zanuck's wild claims because you don't know anything about them.
Would you agree that they're wild claims?
I have no clue what he's talking about. Why would I make it?
That's like most of us. Well done.
Zanuck's got no clue. What
complete agreement.
Yeah. No, what I said is, why would I make... Listen.
Coming together.
I said, why would I make... I said, why would I make a claim for or against an evaluation of a claim if I don't know anything about what they're claiming?
Oh, that's a brilliant obfuscation, that.
Well, we told you what the claim was.
No, you said... You caricatured
a claim of a claim and then took a caricature of that.
You caricatured a claim and then said...
Caricatured a claim. Can you just explain that for us? Go on. Yeah. Give us a brief glimpse of that caricature, please.
No problem. Yeah, you said, haha, Zanuck said this. Do you believe that? And I was like, well, I didn't hear Zanuck say that to me.
How's that a caricature?
Yeah, what claim?
Well,
if he didn't run away while you were talking, we could ask him.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to talk to Zanuck about the roof or the floor of LIGO.
But you did say it was straightest thing, right?
I said a laser, typically under controlled conditions, is the best way to establish something that is level.
What's the range? What would you say the range would be? And using a laser, just out of curiosity, what would you think to establish a level?
What type of laser?
No, what
type of laser are you talking about?
Yeah,
I don't know.
What?
Well, how could you say?
Yeah.
That
you fool! You're talking about with leveling that with a little handheld pointer pen. What? Why? What? Oh, my Steve. Jeez. Do you not know anything about lasers?
Bev, because what I'm saying is...
Just like waving a cat pointer out. You've got the cat chasing it.
Bev. That's kind of my point here, Bev. You said, well, which laser? How do you know what laser? Well, definitely not the cat pointing one.
Can I just stop this? Let's just stop for a second. You say that this conversation... No, but listen. You're saying this conversation's unfruitful, right? And I'll tell you why. Because you said... At one point, laser is the most... Just listen for a second. You said that the laser is the most precise way to do this leveling and all this shit. And then so I said okay, well, what do you figure is the distance that laser's good for? And then you go on this rant, like, what kind of laser are you talking about? Well, the fucking kind that you were talking about, obviously.
Okay, so Scalpel.
Did you think I was talking about a cat, like a little laser I used to play with my
because
cat, a little pet
well,
laser?
every time I make a point, you guys go on to a different subject. That's the entire point.
No, that was right
so
along with your
the
point.
Subject.
You said laser, best thing to use to make level. I said, what do you think the distance for that, the range for that laser is? Then you're like, are you talking about a cat laser?
I would. No, I didn't say that. That's
no,
not what
Bev
I said.
did, but I'm
if you'd
just
like to go back and look.
adding a little bit
okay,
of drama into your bullshit.
Yeah. So that's the caricature that I'm talking. So you guys want to know what caricature is? That's what that is.
Well, you don't think it's
when
bullshit?
You add the
like we can't have a linear conversation?
When you add the when you add the drama into it, that's the caricature. That's why it's
about your bullshit.
Anyhow, are you going to answer the question? How do you know what the parameters are for distance on that laser that it's good for? The one you're talking about, the one you brought up
for LIGO. I think the
oh, fucking God, am I talking
it's good
to
for
myself?
No, I think
it's good for about. I think it's good for about a mile and a half.
Right, this is pretty obvious, right? That Arsie is being a bit arsey about this because you don't know anything about surveying, do you?
He's been a bit arsey and a bit hasty,
right? Because we're finding there's a lot of this. There's people now that I think let's call it being exposed. Because you're talking about stuff that you don't know about at all. And you just make stuff up, and it is becoming very, very obvious that there are people that don't know what they're talking about. And in order to carry on talking about it, they just obfuscate. They talk around subjects. They sort of divert and go off at tangents for no reason.
This is the caricature that I'm talking about.
It's not a caricature.
Yes,
you can't answer the question about it because you don't know anything about the tools that you're talking about.
LIGO?
About the laser for leveling the floor. The level that they use. The one that you said a laser was the most accurate.
No, you're getting my claim mixed up with or my non-claim.
Yeah, no, this is exactly what I've just said you do.
Do you think that, hold on, Arsie, do you think that LIGO is a tool? Like, would you classify it as a tool?
Sure.
You do?
Sure, why not?
Okay, well, never mind. Well, the reason why I'm asking is because when Bev's talking about tools, you're like, are you talking about LIGO?
We're actually talking about the floor of LIGO. So the more accurate question would be, do you class the floor at LIGO as a tool?
So, I have no
answer the question.
Knowledge about the... Yeah, listen, I have no knowledge or claim about the floor of LIGO.
It was claimed to be the longest, straightest thing in the universe. We were just using it as an example, as such.
Okay, cool. I was talking about specifically the measurement tools at LIGO for the laser.
Well, we weren't. We were talking about the long, straightest thing in the universe and using that as an example for a spirit level.
Scalpel, was that open and honest enough for you there?
Well, sure. Like, I don't even know how we, like, whatever, dude. Like,
no, so here's what
whatever.
Happened.
After
what happened.
Like 20 minutes off.
Here's what happened.
It was open and honest.
Here's what happened.
That's great.
No, here's what happened. You guys decided to take one of Xanax's claims, impose it on what you thought that I was saying.
Okay.
Then I misunderstood your question because you're trying to impose Xanax's caricature.
Blah,
and then so you're mad at me and calling me dishonest over it.
Yeah, okay, no. I'm mad at you because you're being dishonest.
Scalpel,
we're talking about a datum and then a straight line.
Scalpel, you're a cool guy, and I would appreciate you don't call me dishonest simply for you trying to impose one of Xanax's arguments on me.
No, that's not why I called you dishonest. And I honestly...
It's like, get that Xanax argument away from me.
I'm mostly talking about the obfuscation. It's crazy.
I haven't obfuscated anything. I was being accurate when I went back and told you.
I pointed out how you obfuscated.
But if you're not obfuscating, go back to your horizontal datums. Name
so
them.
Scalpel.
Name your horizontal datums.
Scalpel, when you asked me to provide, hey, you asked me, your specific question to me was, what did you ask me and what did you present to me? So I was honest and I said, okay, let me go back and say exactly what I presented.
Honestly,
and
dude,
exactly
you still didn't really you still didn't tell me.
I put exactly right up there. The exact thing that I said to you.
Which was what?
The difference between a horizontal and a vertical datum when it comes to geodetic surveying.
Well, now you threw the word geodetic survey in there. Guess what? In context, once again, we're not doing geodetic survey. Like, see, that's
Okay.
that's part
But
of what
that's
I'm
a nice,
talking about.
but that's
You're
a
always
nice obfuscation.
No,
really?
it's a nice one.
Yeah, nice one by you.
Fucking hell. I am so
But that's
close
a nice
to
one.
pressing that kick button on your ass, Meister, because you're just full of shit.
Well, that's fine. Luckily, my sense of self-worth or honesty doesn't come from your evaluation of me.
Sorry? Oh, no, never mind. So,
but I would say that me going back and talking about finding an exact quote when you ask for that exact quote is not being dishonest. And in fact, when talking about surveying, and we were talking about GPS references in particular, since those are one of the
what
things
were the
that you
two
mentioned
different
you're going
types
to
of
use.
GPS references you were talking about?
I didn't say two different types of GPS references.
You did actually in Betty's server. I mean, once again, Buster was there. I'm pretty sure he'll.
I did not say
agree.
two. I did not say two.
You
GPS
referenced
references.
two different types of GPS systems that are used for surveying. Is that concise enough?
No, what I said is that you can use either AWAS systems to confirm your position in a three-dimensional access, or non-AWAS systems, which don't confirm but just give you within the horizontal datum, an exact position, but not an elevation.
Well, if we're worried about elevation, what system do you think we're going to use? And this is not the way the conversation went at Betty's either.
Well, you asked me about the two different systems. I'm trying to remember which one, like, what were you talking about? Because we don't talk about two different systems. We talk about verification methods with GPS.
Wow. Are you able to talk right now, Buster?
Am I coming in?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you make of this conversation?
When my conversation with Arsie Micey started, I was asking the question: can the tools within surveying transpose a horizontal line over a distance? What would be your answer to that, RC?
As long as you have a verification system for your horizontal and vertical datum that you're using to reference it, then yes, you can establish a level.
This is it. Okay. Do you understand what the tools are capable of?
Yes. With GPS specifically, yes.
Well, I'm digressing a little bit back to the equipment as far as either auto level or a transit, because I don't know much about GPS.
I'm also wondering why do you keep on bringing up GPS? GPS is not necessary to make these measurements.
That is correct.
That is correct, meaning you agree GPS is not necessary to make these measurements?
No, it's not necessary.
Do you understand and realize that you can make a horizontal plane without ever having to refer to GPS?
Yes. Do you realize that you can make horizontal plane and vertical datum, so vertical and horizontal datum measurements using GPS?
Yeah, but you do understand that this conversation completely revolves around doing a specific observation. You do understand we're not building a fucking highway here, right?
Yep.
Okay. So all these things, all these points that you're bringing up, could you not agree that they're not pertinent to the observation?
I do think they're pertinent to the observation.
Pardon me?
I do think they are pertinent to the observation because they would be ways of verifying. the measurements that you're making and the claims that you would try to make based on those measurements.
Do you think it's an outrageous claim to be able to say level is horizontal?
Not outrageous.
What are you going to do if... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask him, can he clarify that as in not outrageous? He said it's not outrageous. So, to you, is level horizontal?
It depends on what we're talking about, colloquially or scientifically.
No, we are talking about level being horizontal, as in the geometric definition of the level and its position.
So what's the definition of it?
I'd love to ask what science has to do with it, but I won't. Go ahead. DP?
Sorry? I'm waiting for his answer.
Oh.
What was the question?
Jesus, I'm fed up with this obfuscation. I am so tired of this.
Well,
I'm
can I come in here,
right?
A level is a tool. Can we agree on that?
Sure, yeah.
Right, so it is a tool for a specific purpose, right?
I could say for multiple purposes, but okay, sure.
Yeah, but what the main purpose is for establishing a, let's call it a level for now. But the tool is a level, right? It has to be in a very particular position, right, in order for it to, let's call it level.
Mm-hmm.
Right, now that very particular position, can you describe it any other way?
I'm not making the argument, so no, I would care not to describe.
So you would say you have no way of describing that particular position that a level, the tool, establishes, other than saying it is level. And that is the only describer you can put to that position that level is.
That's not what I said, but
no.
That was a nice try.
Okay, well, go on then. You give us your best.
What's that?
Give us your best example of what you think level is, then.
I'm not going to make a bunch of claims about.
Okay, well, you don't have to then, right? You don't have to. Don't make any claims. I'll tell you. For what I think it is for me, I think the level position would have to be equalized. It would have to be no higher or lower on each end, because then it would have a slope on it. It has to have zero slope in either any direction. That's why it's that's why it's a plane, right? Because if it tilts down at any corner, then it's not on that plane. There's a tilt on it, and it can't be right. Now, it is also. No, you're leaving me to answer this now. You didn't want to answer. You didn't know.
I had a question.
You said I don't know. So I let you, Bev, explain to me a bit more about level, right? Now, as well as it being not tilting in any place, right? It is also perpendicular to a vertical. Right, or a plumb bob that's hung above it. It will be perpendicular to that level surface, level plane.
Cool.
Yeah? Would you agree with that?
Sure.
Okay, so all of that description you could have said, but you didn't. Right? But that you already had that waiting, right?
No, I'm asking you to describe your own conceptualization of the measurement and observation you want to make. It's not my job.
No, yeah, like you're in a car or something. You're doing, I don't know. You're not ready to be able to watch this demonstration that you're asking for, but you're quite willing to come back some other time, right? And I'm not ready to do it just yet. It's getting late now, and we can come back tomorrow. We're like, hey, what about that? Do you do it tomorrow? I was going to do it anyway. I was saying to everybody I'd like to walk everybody through it. But you
Bev,
would have
I
to.
would lo-
You would
I would
have to
love
just
I
sit
would
there
love
and
to
watch it,
hear-
right?
I would love to hear your presentation on how you're defining it and how you plan on making
Defining
this
it.
observation. Yeah, that's what you just did.
I just defined level for you.
Well, you
Yeah.
juxtapose that with horizontal.
No, I didn't. Did I say horizontal?
No.
I just
You-
said
you did ask
perpendicular
me-
to vertical, right? Perpendicular.
Yeah, perpendicular to vertical.
Yeah. You said horizontal. I did. You must have put that there in your head. We were just talking about level.
So level is horizontal to you
Oh,
then?
it sounds like it, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
I'm asking him to describe it. I didn't say what it is to me. Don't
Well, you
take his
just
description and
inserted
say,
the word
"But
level
you
when
said."
Bev was using horizontal.
No, he
So-
used
That's
the other way round.
Yeah, well, it's late and he's doing my fucking peanut.
Yeah, I'm not
so,
surprised. Oh, hey, Helgi.
yeah.
Hey, hello, Bev. I was just trying to come in the conversation.
Yeah, please do.
I'm in a car, I'm in a truck, so it might be if you hear me weird,
Yeah, it's all right.
So I have to talk a little bit loud so I can hear myself.
We heard you went on Nathan Oakley today.
Yeah, I was listening.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
I asked my boss, one of my boss there too, about the water, what's it called again?
The water level.
Yeah, the water
Yeah.
level, yeah. And and for a fun fact, when I confronted him about it, when I asked him in my free time, he said, "Well, that's a funny thing, because he actually learned about this in Romania, because when he went to Romania to learn about how men made houses with no lasers, how we do it here.
Yeah.
So they use those things because they only used this guy only used a tube they can see through. So I asked him about the water level thing, and he said it would if you put 1 mile at like 1.6 kilometer or something.
Yeah.
So he said, well, when you put it like that, if you put it straight like this on a board, like I draw to him, and he said it would be off by 0.000 something. He said like 1. So because he said it worked for the ancient Egyptians because it was pretty he said accurate, but it was off for 1.111 no 0001 something like that. He said.
Of a what? Of a millimeter?
Oh no, smaller than that. So it's 0.0001 when it's that large,
Yeah.
When it becomes so large,
So less than a millimeter then.
Yeah.
Yeah, less than a millimeter. But if you put it, but when you put it at more and more and more scale, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I think it sounds like about we call that a gnat's chuff.
And that's cock. Well, we used to call it at school.
Yeah.
Well, my metalwork teacher used to call it a gnat's cock.
What's that?
Just wanted to butt in real
nothing.
quick, just so you know, Bev, I sent you a DM.
That's just what he said.
Yeah.
So for
Sorry.
Helgi, so all intents and purposes, it is a level horizontal plane over 1 mile.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be perfectly straight, There would be a little bit off, But
Yeah, it'd be unmeasurable, that though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it wouldn't be. It would be measurable, but it would be off. It would be a little bit off. He said.
Helgi, right? If you laid a concrete slab with that level of error in it, would you be happy with it?
Well, if they would just pay me to do my normal job, I would say, yeah, sure. If I don't do as many mistakes, if I only do 1, that should be okay. But if I do more than 1, it would not be okay.
The only bit I want clarifying is, would you be happy with that concrete slab with that amount of error?
Yeah, I would be happy. But
Okay.
when he said, when he told me, well, you shouldn't draw it like this. and I said, what do you mean? He took the pen off. He took the pen off of me, and while the ancient Egyptians use this, we don't use this. So when he draw it with a curve, and something like that.
Well, we've got some new ones to show you, right? But imagine this. So if you were building a wall,
Mm-hmm.
and then you were to make a trench in it 8 inches deep, like a trough in the middle of the wall, and you were to build the wall level, right? What would happen to the water in the trough in the center of this wall if the wall was a mile long, 1,600 meters, and there was 8 inches? What's that? Like 20 centimeters, something like that. Deep.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and the water, the trough was 20 centimeters deep all the way along the top of the wall, and the water, you would fill that trough up. What would happen to the water in your imagination within the trough?
Well, are you talking about it would just stay leveled, like inside the trench?
Yeah.
What
would you?
It would go down, but I think you're asking me is the answer you want from me is yes, it would be it would be straight.
How deep would the water be along the whole of the trench?
It would be the same.
It'd be 8 inches all the way along.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if it's all filled up like that, then yes.
Hang on.
But if you put a laser on it, it wouldn't. Well, it depends how far it is, But it wouldn't. Yeah.
Meisty, do you agree with what Helgi's just said?
What do you mean, agree? It's just stating a bunch of facts.
Sorry?
You're not really agreeing with if you build a level wall that if you fill water with it, the water's going to stay the same across it. Sure.
Can you hear him?
No, he's gone into that.
I
don't want to answer sort of mode.
Can you guys hear me?
That sounds better.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I don't see what there would be to disagree with. He's saying that if you build a level wall, you have a trough on the top of it. You fill the trough up, the water's going to be level on the top of the level wall. Makes a lot of sense to me.
So the water will be level all the way along the length of the trench built in the top of the wall.
Sure, yeah.
And Helgi says that water over a mile would be, what was that, 0.00?
No, not if you put it, only if you put it in the water.
In the water level.
Yeah, but if you do it like a canal, it would all be like if it's 20 centimeters down to the water, it would be 20 centimeters all the way around. Well, if it's steady water, So
around.
Just to left and to A and to B,
Yeah.
So but it wouldn't be straight. But it would be leveled, It would be leveled, but it wouldn't be straight. It would be off.
So that's my question here. If you put a little, what do you call it? Like a little wooden pole or a steel pole on a plate that could stand up vertical in the middle of it. If you looked down, would you see it sticking up in the middle?
That's an optical test.
I don't know what you're talking about. Let's say that again. Where am I?
So if you're on one end.
Right, okay, I'm at A.
Put a person on the other end.
What? We need a person on each end?
Yeah, person on each end.
Yeah.
And you put let's say, a little, 12 inches above the water, a little steel pole that's sticking up vertically. And you look down to one end, you look down at the other end. In the middle, you also have a pole that's 12 inches above the water. You can see through a telescope. What do you think you would see in the middle? Would you see the top of that metal pole, like the Bedford level experiment?
It's 12 inches above the water. Where's the telescope? What height is the telescope at?
On each end, 12 inches.
It's 12 inches higher than the water level. In the thing on the top of the wall. Or have we completely swapped locations now? Did you just do a mental switch somewhere and not tell us?
I didn't do a mental switch anywhere.
Well, where are we now?
I'll say it again. You are at one end
Of the
with a
wall
12-inch
that
metal
we've
pole.
just built.
Yes. Yes. With the water in it.
Yeah.
That pole that you are level with and looking towards at the other end.
So I'm 12 inches above the water.
You put your chin on that.
No, I'm not putting my chin on anything. So we've made a wall, we've put a water level in it, and we've made 3 marks at 12 inches above the water level.
Yep.
Okay.
You look down to see the other side.
Yeah.
What do you think you'll see in the middle?
Wait, why am I looking in the middle?
Because you've put 3 posts, one on one end of the wall, one on the other end,
Yeah.
one in the middle, and then one on the far end.
Yeah.
What do you think you'll see in the middle?
I don't know. Would we be using any surveying techniques to establish a horizontal plane, or are you just going to do all of this by looking from one end?
I'm doing it based on what domesticated primate just asked me. He says, "Do you agree with all of this?" And I said, "Yeah,
What?
sure."
So you basically all you've got is going to one end and looking at it.
Going to both ends, looking
Going
at
to
it
both ends
with
and
a
looking
reference
at it
point.
from both ends. Yeah, brilliant.
With a reference point in the middle. What do you think you'll see?
I don't know what are you using to look at it. You're looking half a mile.
I told you a telescope.
Oh, right. Okay. So what's your telescope that you're using? And what's the point of you using a telescope?
So you can see clearly.
Well, you can just see things. I mean, that's what a telescope's for. A telephoto zoom lens.
I don't understand the point of this.
No, I don't either. He's
It's called obfuscation.
yeah, he's crazy, right?
Not an obfuscation, but have you ever heard, Helgi, of the Bedford level experiment?
Who's talking about the Bedford level experiment? It's not something we even think about here.
Yeah.
So
Why not?
Because I've been there. It was rubbish. They didn't know what to do. They haven't got a clue. What is the purpose of checking there?
And our observation has nothing to do with the Bedford levels. It is a completely different observation.
Thanks for pointing that out, Primate. Didn't know that.
Well, it seems like you're trying to bring this into the conversation of Bedford levels, and it has nothing to do with our observation. So it was a pointless comment and an obfuscation on your part.
Bringing up a point is not an obfuscation. It's the opposite.
The subject was the obfuscation, you idiot.
The subject was. Now subjects are obfuscations.
Oh, now this is an obfuscation
so
again.
You're allowed to bring up 50 subjects at a time to investigate a primate. But when I point out about what you're talking about, a way that you can show.
Yeah, this is the
Right,
obfuscation. Come on.
I'm not angry. Believe me, I'm not angry. I'm just tired of your bullshit.
Sounds like it.
I'm just tired of your bullshit, you idiot.
Okay. Sounds like you're angry.
No, I'm not angry. It takes more than you to make me angry. Believe me.
I think he's just disappointed.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, nice one, Helgi. That's summed it up. I am disappointed with our visitor.
All right. Well, carry on with your flat Earth thing then.
Sorry?
What were you told the other day, Maisty?
Yeah,
Can
3
you repeat that
times,
statement
right.
back to us? The one that you were told the other day when you tried that one.
Fingers in the ear.
Maisty, hello.
Yes.
You were asked a question.
It was about what surveyors do, right?
I asked you a question earlier and you did refuse to answer it, so I thought it was okay to not answer questions now.
Yeah,
Surveyors measure a change in elevation, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a change in the vertical axis. That's like gives you 3 dimensions. You know what a 3-dimensional shape is?
Yes.
It's
Measuring
not
Earth curvature
flat.
is what I was talking about. Measuring geodetic curvature is what I'm talking about.
No, do you know
What?
what a geodetic
Did he say
is?
measuring geodetic curvature?
He
Wow.
certainly did, Bev.
That's nice. Off you go, DP.
How do you do this one then, Meisty? How do you measure geodetic curvature?
By plotting all points and
By
distances
going
and
to the
directions
moon.
between
That's
those
your
points.
answer, I think.
There you go. That's another one. Yeah. No.
By going to the stars.
By plotting all points and distances and directions between those points.
You've gone really quiet again.
Yeah,
Do you want to
by plotting
speak into your mic?
Yes. By plotting points, distances and directions between all of those points.
Okay, and how do you join points?
Through the measurement of the distances and directions between those points.
And how do you join those points together?
What do you mean, join the points together?
Once you have your points, how do you form a curve from those points when the connection between those points is a straight line?
You measure all distances and directions between those points.
But there is only one distance and one direction between the points.
Incorrect. If you have 3 points or 4 points.
No, I'm saying measure.
You're going to have 5. You're going to have 6.
Measure.
Distances and
What
directions.
part of the word measure don't you understand?
Oh, I understand it well.
Okay, so I'm going to send you how he drew it on the board for me, like how he explained it to me. So I was drawing it on my phone on Snapchat. So it's just like kindergarten stuff, you know?
Yeah, that'll do.
So he drew it like this.
We like that best.
So I responded to your question now, domesticated primate.
No,
So
you
if you
haven't.
plot-
All you've done is obfuscate it.
Obfuscated what?
How is that a response? I asked you how you measure a curve, and you have gone to 3 points, and you can only measure point to point.
If you have 4 points, for example,
you can only measure point to point.
You can measure 6 distances and directions.
So can I explain how? No.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So he said when we're observing it, how we look at it. Well, that's him saying it. We do it from the middle. So the one, if it's perfectly up, then it's just perfect. Then it is perfect. Like he drew in the middle. You see the line in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's like perfect. But if you have a water level like this, and you go, the more degrees it goes out, you know, the further it goes, the more off it gets. Not a lot, you know, but it's something, you know. But so it's always, he said, it's always observed from the middle.
Yeah.
You know.
Helgi, do you know what the numbers should be?
The number should be if I put any numbers in.
Yeah, you know, like according to the model that a few of you guys subscribe to.
Well, I asked him when it's 1.6 kilometers, and the only answer I got is it would be off because I didn't put any numbers in, but he would just explain it to me quickly. But I can ask him. I meet him not tomorrow, but the next day. I can ask him more clearly if he wants to answer.
Yeah.
So, because he actually learned about this, so.
Because we do have quite a few logical proofs for this sort of stuff. They're the most fun ones to work through. I'm going to be going over our test tomorrow. Hopefully we can get some sort of a package together to explain it in a short, concise video, which I guess you could be able to show your boss.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I can try to get I can probably get probably a plumber at my age who knows this. I don't know, who can come on here, but that's the smartest guy I know on this is my boss.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, I bet we'll give you something to take to him to get him scratching his head.
He was so quick, man. I didn't expect that. He was so quick. It was like I asked him before. He was so quick answering it.
Bev, do logical proofs measure the Earth?
Pardon?
Do logical proofs measure the Earth?
No, don't be ridiculous.
Ah.
That'd be stupid. How would you use a logical proof to measure anything?
That's my point.
That's your point.
What was the point in that, Arsie?
That if you want to talk about the shape of the Earth or if there's Earth core, well, go measure it.
Man, just go to space, man. What's the problem? Just go to space. Well, I haven't seen any law that says you are not allowed to go to space.
It's very true.
Space is just the distance between physical objects.
Why not observe the ground you stand on?
Well, if the ground's real big, you might want to get higher so that you can see the whole ground, right?
Yeah.
You're telling me you can't
measure. How high do you have to get to see the curve?
Depends on your field of view. 70,000 feet if you got a 180-degree view.
I was just thinking drugs.
Where were you when we were getting high? Dear.
So, Helgi, do you know the rate of Arsie tell you how much the curvature of water level? Arsie, have you watched any of the videos that we had? Like, you know that there's a couple of different models that you can have with like the water level, and if you have a model, there's two different models that they got explained by George, and we'll call them the George and the Jesse. They sort of share one model, and MC Toons and Walter Bislin and Kay and a few of others share the other model. So I'll give you a quick brief outline of these two. Now, Jesse says that the water level drops away from the horizontal at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared. So that is from your point, wherever you are, the water level drops away from horizontal. So you put horizontal out and the water level always drops away from your point. Now, McToons and Walter Bislin have the idea where you have the start and the end, like sort of cut a chord, and there is a hump in the middle. So the two different models. One of them has a hump and a raise in the middle, and the other one has a complete drop always away from you. Which one do you have, Arsie?
Which model do I
Yeah,
have?
yeah, the water.
One doesn't have a model.
Okay.
Number one.
I just gave you two options there. One that George and Jesse have, and one that McToons, I nearly made a mistake there, McToons and Walter Bislin have. Walter Bislin made a whole model for Jesse and Dave Rakir's bridge, and you know that when he made that model, that big hump in the middle. But there's no hump on Jesse's model because everything drops away from horizontal. See, there's two different models. Which one do you have?
Are there?
Yeah.
Did
I've
they
just
claim
explained
that
it again.
Are they two different models or two different ways of looking at the perspective and reference frame?
No, they're two completely different models.
Maybe he doesn't agree with either of them, and he has a third thing that he could just put out there.
Well, models are about representing some sort of truth or claim that you're trying to either examine further or make predictions about.
Yeah, this is what the test does, Arsie.
No. What observation or test are you trying to make against one of these models to predict or prove something?
Yeah, there's two different models, I told you.
You haven't explained that they are actually two different models. And
Yeah, but one of them drops away from your position. The other one has the start point and the end point being level and a hump in the middle, a raise. It's quite easy. There's a definite difference. One of them drops away always. The other one raises to end up level again. It goes back to the same level. It at least allows you to have the concept of level, one of them. The other one's ridiculous, but I mean, hey, they're both of your models. Which one do you choose?
Is it a 180-degree section of a representation of the Earth, or a
you just? I bet you've nobody's ever give you this one to think of before ever, right? Because the water level is quite obviously horizontal. But I mean, horizontal is a bit. It's a bit too much for you to handle, right?
It's actually one that I give to my fifth graders, and the question is, I use this to teach them about the difference between perspectives on models. That you can represent one thing with one model and a different thing with another, and that why they might look different, they're actually just looking at the same thing differently.
Yeah, you've got one of them where you have to be stood on the top of the ball, don't you?
So my question is, are both of them using 90-degree perpendicular cutout sections of the representation of the Earth, or are they using 180-degree cutout sections of the representation?
I don't know, like you're doing. Is this what your model for fifth graders?
Yo, Arsie, are you a teacher?
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he is.
Yeah, physics.
Just kidding.
So my question is it using?
He thinks he's a pilot as well.
Yeah.
Listen. Are you?
Yeah, I'm an astronaut.
Bev,
you know.
Yeah.
Bev, is it a 180-degree cutout section?
I haven't got a clue what you're talking about, Arsie. You've obviously got an idea of something in your head. You don't have any way to express it.
Well,
you really should
do us a drawing or something.
You should go and ask George and MC Goon.
Yeah.
McGoon.
Get them to explain the different models to you. Or, in fact, watch the video I've just done today.
So Bev,
I'll put a link in the thingy for you.
Bev, if you can't answer any questions about it, how are you asking me then to evaluate which one is better or not?
Sorry?
If you can give me no other information...
I'm not asking you to evaluate anything for us.
Yes, you did. You said which one is better. That is by...
No, I asked you which model do you subscribe to of your ridiculous globe?
You literally said...
one of the two models that I explained, I said, which one of these two do you subscribe to? I mean, it's quite obvious. I told you, George and Jesse have one, and McToons and Walter Bislin have another. It's all right. It's okay for you guys to have different models. It's nobody's bothered about it. It was just a casual question to ask you which one of the two you subscribe to. You struggle with it. It's all right. It's okay.
Bev, I didn't struggle with it. I asked you a pointed question about what type of representation and dissection of representation.
Go and ask McGoon.
And you said,
I said I have a horizontal water level. That's not like any of the other two models.
Hey, how's it going?
The conversation me and Marcy Micey had that one night, I asked him about making the horizontal line and what would happen with the water level. And as best I remember, he said it would drop away at 8 inches, the deviation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you even said that last night.
That's old school, that, right?
He's going with George's model.
Yeah.
Guys, I put the...
Listen, hold up, listen. If you want to actually ask me, that drop away...
I did last night.
A 90-degree... Listen, is the idea of a 90-degree subsection representing Earth. That would be in reference to plumb or plumb bob. Now, if you want to take 180-degree, so you're using virtually 3 plumb bobs.
That's a straight line, you muppet.
Listen, and connecting a 180-degree section between those 2 plumb bobs, then you're going to get what looks like a curve. the middle. But the whole point is
180 degrees between two.
Listen!
No, because
Listen!
180 degrees
So
is
the
a straight
question is,
fucking line, you prick.
Do you want to actually represent it with 3 or 2 references?
You've just bent a straight line without, and you think you can get away with it.
Do you want to reference 3 or 2 plumb bobs? Because if you reference 2, it's going to look like it drops away. If you reference 3, it's going to look like there's a curve in the middle of it.
What?
There you go.
The other night when I asked if you could transpose that horizontal line and that 8 inches would drop off, and I asked what happens when you turn around and do your backside, that's when he switched over.
Yeah, and that's what me and you, Buster, we were talking
you
about.
See, he just agreed with Buster there. He just agreed. He went, yeah.
Listen!
Fucking hell.
Buster,
You switched from one model to the other and you didn't even realise. You cretin.
For a second.
You absolute
Buster,
fool.
you and I were talking about 2 plums.
Because I put good photo of me. It was last year.
Buster, you and I were talking about 2 plumb bobs.
No.
And I said if you reference 3,
you
reference 3, then it's going to look like a curve. That's exactly what we were talking about. We're talking about 2 reference points, Buster.
Meltdown.
Could you transpose that horizontal line over a distance from the first data point with the right equipment? And you agreed, and I asked what would happen.
DP, can you see the water level bits that we did earlier? Do you want to just put one of them on for us?
Points, Buster, you can't do
water level calibration thing that I can.
Buster, you need 3 to be able to do that. That's the point.
You don't understand what the equipment's capable of.
Buster, we're talking about how you represent something graphically.
What?
That's a model. He's saying which diagram
graphically representing something now.
Yes, that's what you just said with which drawing looks better.
Who said that?
You said which.
I said which model do you subscribe to? The one where it constantly drops away from you, or the one where there's a hump?
It's the same model.
He just hears what he wants to hear, Bev. He just makes shit up in his own head.
Hey,
this is fucking pointless having him here.
You're not even listening.
You're not even talking to anyone when you talk to him. He's just like obfuscating and changing the subject.
You know, he keeps saying listen, and he doesn't actually say.
And he doesn't know anything about what he's talking about either. It's a bit shocking, really, the way they decide to just talk about things.
He's talking to himself.
If you reference 2 plumb bobs,
why are we referencing 2? What do you mean referencing 2 plumb bobs?
Because you have 2 points, and so it's going to look.
No,
like
you have 2. You have 2 plumb bobs. They're both vertical. What you're referencing them against, the vertical or the horizontal.
And if you reference 3,
yeah, they will have 3 verticals. What are we going to reference them against? Vertical? They're all vertical. They're all referencing against vertical.
I'll draw it out.
Do you want to reference them against the horizontal then? Oh, look, they're all perpendicular to horizontal.
I'm going to go on mute for a second so I can draw this for you.
You're going to go on mute so you can draw something. Brilliant.
What does perpendicular mean?
Right angles. Do you want me to? I'll give you. I'll put the.
No, I'll just Google it. No problem.
Euclidean definition for you.
Perpendicular.
Definition 10 in
Euclid.
Yeah,
it's 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get. Man.
See what we have to put up with, Helgi.
Yeah,
we don't do 90 degrees though in Euclidean geometry.
So people can just be good, because I was watching this Nathan Oakley guy,
Yeah.
He just keeps saying the same stuff over and over,
Yeah. Wow, how long have you been listening to him for?
No, it's the Earth. Can't you see it?
It looks like a snowman to me.
Just look, man. Look how happy he is, It's me,
Upside down. Yeah, that's ridiculous, that, right?
What's that then?
He's not in a vacuum, right, is he? There's no way
look,
he's in a vacuum and that bit down there's gas pressure.
See, this is Earth, Boom. Quick
gas
maps.
Pressure.
You see here is Empire State Building. Boom. So let's
Is that the noise? Is that the noise your Earth makes? It's boom?
Yeah, boom. So, yeah, you got volcano here, it goes boom.
Boom.
Let's throw some tits on them. You know?
Okay, so I just posted in debate.
You
chat
watching
what
the
I'm talking
live
about.
stream, guys?
Yeah.
That's genius.
So,
That's
so
just
I
the
just
sort of
posted
man.
in the debate.
Don't draw a
Bev, I ju-
penis on your
Yeah,
snowman,
don't.
Helgi.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing
I just,
six
He's got a
pack.
six
Oh,
pack.
okay.
guys, I just posted in debate chat what I'm talking about. You can have the exact same representation, one looking like it's sloping up or down, or one looking like it's having a hump in the middle, with the exact same thing, just depending on if you look at a 90-degree subsection of it or a 180-degree subsection of it.
Yeah, we're talking about extending that 90 degree.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to tell
Straight
you is
line
that
at that perpendicular.
Buster, you and I were talking about the first drawing yesterday, when you just used 2 reference points. I'm talking that if you want to talk about the curve or hump in the middle of it, the bulge in the middle, then you need to have 3 reference points that you're taking a 180-degree subsection of.
Okay, so what happens if you add a third reference point into that top diagram?
Well, I just showed
Does it
you
suddenly become 180 degree? Does it suddenly shift to the bottom diagram?
No, it's just a different representation of the same thing because you're looking at a 180-degree subsection of it.
No, you're not. You're still looking at the same 90 degrees, only it's got a third stake in the middle. A third reference point in the middle.
And if you want to try to reference either 2 of those things against the middle one, you automatically
Why are you talking absolute shit?
Okay, so
Can you not see that one of the models, right? One of the models, you are stood on top of the model. The other one, you stood off to the side.
It's the same thing.
No, you have the centre at the top, not where you are. You're not at the top on one of the models.
It's the same.
It's no, it's not. It's not. No, it's not because you imagine.
I'm showing you how.
Arsie, you imagine.
You're just saying la 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 la.
No. You imagine that the centre is where the water level is actually horizontal.
How do you know that?
Oh, well, because do you have
Because I what?
Do you must have Jesse's model then. If you don't imagine the centre as being the only place that a water level is horizontal.
I showed you how they're both the same thing.
They're not the same thing.
And you didn't show anything. You didn't show anything, Meisty.
Domesticating. You're just closing your eyes and saying, "Nope, I don't like it."
Well, I suppose they both are the same thing, really, because the same thing is horizontal water level. You just imagine it, like, because you have an imaginary model. You imagine it differently.
It's imaginary now, just because I drew you the same representation that is the exact same thing.
Completely imaginary.
In 2 different ways.
Yes, absolutely imaginary. Yes. What you imagine of that model of yours is completely imaginary. It's in your head.
How do you know that?
It's because you can't show us it in reality. So
you can't measure it. You can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Because it's not there.
This is what I meant by fruitless, because I actually show you what I mean, and then you're like, no.
That seriously, that thing with 90 degrees and 180.
It got obfuscated that time in Betty's server where I asked about that first datum point and transposing it. Did I lose everybody?
No, we're here.
Okay, so that's why that's where it got obfuscated, because I asked about that first datum point and be able to transfer that first datum point over a distance, and he agreed that I could make that straight line with the horizontal line with the right equipment, and at the end of it, what would happen? And when he said 8 inches, then it went to total obfuscation. It went to this.
It's not an obfuscation. You asked me about 2 representations of how curvature works on Earth, and I showed you 190-degree subsection and a 180-degree subsection.
That's not true.
Okay, well that's exactly what Bev asked me about. Now you're trying to say no.
It's
That's
not exactly what I asked you about.
Bev, that's exactly. You said, which one do you ascribe to? And I said, I'm showing you here they're the same thing.
So apart from one of them, you are at the top of the ball, and the other one, you are not.
I already showed you they're the same thing.
They're not the same thing.
Says you. Okay.
No. I can show you logically, very simply.
Oh, really? I showed you graphically, and now you're going to show me logically? Oh, okay.
No, Meisty, you showed
I'm
two
not gonna, I can't
graphics,
show you
and you have to
logically,
jump
can I?
from one to the other to make your point.
No, I don't have to jump from one to the
Yes,
other.
you do.
I'm showing you that they're the same
You're
thing,
showing
just
me
one
two
with one reference frame.
graphics, and you have to jump
One
from
with one
one to
reference.
the other to make your point.
No, I have to show you
Yes,
that they're both the same thing.
they are not
You
both
just, you
the
just,
same
you just
thing.
you refuse to accept the fact that, like, I showed you how dumb you're being about this.
You're a
And then you're like,
physics
oh, no, no, no.
teacher.
Yeah,
Supposedly.
and
Right,
I know
so
how to,
you know what
And
water
what?
does then,
You're
right?
a physics teacher?
Yeah, physics.
and you don't know how
Allegedly.
to.
And he's struggling
Man,
with this water. What
I
happens?
love America.
That's why the kids are all so stupid now.
I know better than this.
Well, I mean, the funny part about it is we're sitting here laughing, and you guys can't read a basic model diagram.
You can't
on it,
explain what happens with a water level over a mile.
And you're laughing at me about the fact that I can draw it with my finger, and it's so simple to understand.
Wait, let me see.
No, when you say it, there are two drawings, Meisty, and you have to jump from one to the other to make your point.
Okay.
That's not how it works.
Oh, all right. How about this then? I'll just make it even simpler since you're angry about it, domestic.
I'm not angry about it. Believe me, you don't make me angry, Meisty. I'm really disappointed with you, actually.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed with you because I thought you had a semblance of intelligence, but obviously you don't.
Okay. Let me draw it one more time so that it's even simpler. Since you don't like two drawings, I'll do it easier.
Oh, what happened to this? Forget any groceries for your wife doing all this arguing, Arsie.
I just got back home.
She won't be happy if you forgot the bread.
Are you going to show her your videos? We did the one about logic, and then we've got the water level one.
When we were having our conversation, he agreed I could transpose that first datum point from that 90 degrees over a distance.
Of course you can.
And when I asked what the deviation was, according to him, the 8 inches, and I asked what would happen when you turn around, and that's when it went to this nonsense.
Okay. So domesticated yesterday. So domesticated primate. Since you're
so where am I standing? Where am I standing, Meisty? Am I standing at point 1 or am I standing at point 3?
Do you want to reference 1 or 2
Where
points?
am I standing?
1,
Meisty.
You're standing at 1.
So what is the water doing, Meisty?
Well, I didn't ask about the water. You said which model represents curvature.
What is the water doing
that's
point
change of subject.
1,
Change.
Meisty?
It's sitting there.
It's sitting there, you fucking tool. You complete fucking twat.
Okay, so stop being so angry, domesticated, and look
I'm
at your
not
one
angry.
drawing that
You are an obfuscating idiot. Why don't you just piss off and stop wasting people's time?
Because you need to be corrected on basic drawings.
You need to be corrected on basic counting. You got 1 in between 2 and 3.
Because you have 1 reference system and 2 for the 90 degrees, and if you add the third, you get 180 degrees.
Meisty.
There you go.
Such an idiot.
Well, that's fine. You can call an idiot, but I gave you exactly what you wanted. 1 drawing.
But you won't tell me where I'm standing, Meisty.
To represent.
You won't tell me where I'm standing.
I said you at 1. I said you're standing at 1.
And what is the water doing when I'm at 1?
Sitting there.
Sitting there.
What do you want me to say?
Well, obviously, water is not sitting there.
Okay, so if I'm at point 1, what is the difference between the water level where I am and the water levels at point 2 and 3?
They'll be the same.
They'll be the same. Are they dropping away from me?
They'll be the same.
Is it dropping away from me? Is it dropping away from the horizontal tangent that you would form at 1? Is there a drop to points 2 and 3?
It is dropping away from the tangent. Yes.
And what is the rate of that drop?
The typical colloquial one that we use is 8 inches.
All right, so now I'm standing at point 1. Okay. There is point 2. It is a mile away. There is a tangent from my feet at point 1. What is the drop to point 2?
8 inches.
So there is a difference between the two figures.
Nope.
Well, what about if you're standing at point 3?
If it's a mile away, it's 8 inches.
What? If you're at 3 and then point 1?
Yes, it's 8 inches.
8 inches down?
From the tangent?
Well, I don't know. No, like, yeah, from
point,
yeah.
But he told me tangent.
Okay, so tangent. Why are you doing a tangent?
Because he told me tangent, and I said yes. It's
on a tangent. It's okay. So
that's
you're
exactly what the best.
Are you assuming a horizontal is a tangent?
He said tangent. And
no, but we're getting. This is the water, right, Arsie? You are a physics teacher, right? So you understand, right? The water level. What has that water level have to do with a tangent on a circle? As a physics teacher.
That when on Earth, water level does not equal tangents off of points from the Earth.
It does not equal tangents.
No. You cannot connect 2 tangents over a mile without seeing that deviation.
Right, well, you've got a water level.
From water level.
Yeah, you've got a water level. You've got 2 vials at the end, right?
And they are different than the tangents.
Right, yeah, but there's not 2 tangents. There's only one line. There's one horizontal reference frame between the 2 water levels.
If you have 2 points, then you have
you
2
do.
tangents.
What?
If you have 2 points, then you have 2 tangents when on a sphere.
Say that again. So we've got a water level.
When you have 2 points, you have 2 tangents on a sphere.
Okay. So do you imagine that his tangent is a horizontal?
If you choose to define it as that, if you want to define it as
so this water level, does this water level have 2 horizontals?
The water level has 2 tangents based on those points.
Okay, and do you imagine those 2 tangents are horizontals?
You want to define horizontal by water? Yep.
We're talking about a water level, the tube that has water in it, and it has 2 ends.
Yeah, sure. If you want to define it like that, sure. Yeah,
so there is a horizontal at each end of that water. So you could join those horizontals up together to make it one horizontal plane all the way from one end to the other.
And it would be curved in reference to the 2 tangents.
It's a horizontal would be curved.
And I know I said it would be curved in reference to the 2 tangent lines that are shown on the sphere.
Sorry, say that again.
It would be curved in reference to the
but we were talking about the horizontal that established is, right, from the ends. You say that horizontal is curved.
It was established by water.
Yeah, so the horizontal plane
which was established by water.
Yeah.
By water.
Yep. And so you imagine that horizontal is curved.
Is curved based on the tangent drawn from the surface of the Earth.
Okay. So because you draw a tangent from the surface of the Earth, that curves the horizontal plane that is established by a water level in reality.
No, that's not what I said.
Like a real tool. A water level is a tool, though, right?
That was a nice obfuscation.
For establishing a horizontal.
It was a wonderful straw man based on what I actually said, but okay.
Brilliant. So you would agree with it then?
I said what I said.
Yeah, I know what you said. You said nothing.
That the tangent line drawn from each point on each of those tubes is divergent.
Where's the tangent line?
On the 2 points on the model that I just showed you.
No, it's a water level. Where is the tangent?
At the point that...
Why are you drawing a tangent at a point? On a water level? What's that? Like, have you got... Do you have a model of a circle somewhere? Every time you draw a straight line, you have to imagine a circle touching it somehow.
That was a good straw man, but no, that's not what I said.
Well, where do you get tangent from when you are imagining the water at each end of a water level, the tool? How do you get tangent? Please explain.
You get tangent, you make sure that you reference a non-curved surface. I'm doing that.
Sorry?
You reference a non-curved surface or a non-curved instrument to be able to establish that. So a theodolite will show you that.
A theodolite will show you
what?
You can help it. You can use that to establish a tangent.
A tangent?
Yes.
What, like just like you sight through the scope?
Yes.
And that's a tangent, is it?
Yes.
How do you get that? Do you know what a tangent is, right?
Yes, because it's 90 degrees to a plumb. Also, is the second way.
No, that's a horizontal, right?
Oh dear.
The 90 degrees to a plumb.
It's a horizontal.
It drops down. Is a tangent.
It's not a tangent. It's a horizontal.
Well, when it's curved surface, it's a tangent.
Well, where did you get your curve from?
By measuring
when
the surface.
what's a curved surface? When a perpendicular?
When you measure the surface, you see that it is curved.
We go back to how do you measure your curve?
This has gone hellishly round in a big circle there,
hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's very.
There's like no progress in this, you know.
No, easy.
Absolutely.
It's hard work, isn't it?
Because you guys just keep going.
Hang on, Meisty. I've got a question for you, right? Do you live on a perfect sphere? Do you think you live on a perfect sphere?
No.
No. Okay. What shape do you think you live on?
A sphere that has terrain on it.
No. What shape do you think you live on? A sphere that has terrain is not really a shape, is it? I asked you if you live on a perfect sphere, and you said no. You said a sphere with terrain. That is still a sphere. You've just added terrain.
Incorrect.
So what shape do you believe?
A shape is a concept of perfect dimensions.
So what shape does your imaginary realm, shall we say, have? What shape do you put to it?
What are you talking about?
What shape is the place where you think you live? That's what I'm talking about. That's the direct question I am asking you.
Yeah, it's spherical.
It's spherical. It's perfectly spherical.
No, I didn't say perfectly spherical. I said spherical.
Well, how can it not be a perfect sphere?
Because it has terrain on it.
A sphere is equal in all directions around its surface. So
sure. In the perfect world, but I didn't say perfectly spherical. I said
it can't be a sphere.
Spherical. Oh. No, I said it's spherical. It has
spherical. And how much does this?
Spherical?
How much does this non-perfect sphere deviate from being perfect? Should we say between the poles and the equator?
On the model.
On the model, yeah.
I'm actually not sure between each of the two. I think it's probably 26 kilometers or so, but I think it might be a little bit more.
26 kilometers, how? How is this deviation expressed?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
difference between circumferences, I think, at 60 degrees.
You've got a
Latitude?
different. Sorry, can you say that again?
The difference between the latitude lines.
That's not what you said. Can you repeat what you said verbatim, please?
It's the difference between the lines that go
No,
around
that is not what
at
you
60
said,
degrees.
is it? What did you say?
That's 60 degrees.
I think it is, but I'm not sure. Like I said at first.
You know why?
I think that's about what it is.
I once had this out with, and it was quite a long time ago, right? If you're in a boat and you're on one of the poles, I'm on a boat, right? And then you're heading towards your equator, right? And you're on the water level, right? What do you reckon would happen altitude-wise or elevation-wise of the sea level? Do you reckon there'd be any change or not if you were to go and like head towards the equator?
Not in any significant way, no.
No. Would you be surprised to find out that you're actually going up a 21-kilometre hump of water? So you're going like uphill on water, 21 kilometres.
Define uphill.
Like not the same. Yeah.
What do you mean uphill?
Define up.
It's uphill.
No, define it. Define it.
Excuse me,
Oh, my
uphill?
Lord.
Hey, numbnuts. Here's the point. I teach physics. Tell me what uphill means in physics.
It's like up in the from the horizontal. It would be an incline.
Define
An incline,
physics,
yeah,
in
in
physics,
the up
define
direction.
Up for me.
So,
Hey, hold
so
up.
man, just look at
In
look at my
physics,
drawing,
define
man.
define up for me in physics.
Man, yeah, just go on my video,
I see
and
it.
you see this mountain right here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So if you're standing here, and you're walking on this edge right here,
Okay, I get your drawing. I'm asking in
so
physics,
you're
how do you
watching
define
upwards.
Up? Yes. How do you define up in physics?
What?
Enlighten me.
Yeah.
Go
on.
ahead. No, you're the one that said uphill.
No,
Yeah,
we've
it's
just
uphill.
give you.
Here,
I
up.
give you mine. He give you his. Mine was sort of more
So you
mental.
did-
His was
so you
very
define-
very visual. You please give us yours.
Sure.
No.
Are you,
But first-
are you drawing it or what is it?
But first,
But
since
first,
you
the
didn't actually answer my
story.
question,
Let me
First,
obfuscate.
in
Give me a
terms
chance
of
to
story.
obfuscate, please.
in terms of physics,
I'm gonna have to go to
asking you
sleep
to
in a bit.
define up.
No, you were just asked to do the very same.
No,
Bev has given
you didn't
his.
answer my question.
Bev
Man,
has given
you're
his.
the physics
drew
guy.
me-
You tell us,
given
man.
You drew me a picture when I asked you for a physics-based definition of up.
Okay. Okay then. Let me have another go then. You get a plumb bob, and you hold it out in front of you. That establishes a vertical. Now,
Cool.
the bit where it goes towards your feet, we'll call that down, and then the opposite of that, like a complete opposite, we'll call that up. How's that?
That's a really good idea,
Awesome.
Bev.
Great.
That works really, really well.
Yeah.
Perfect. So,
How's
in
that?
order
Go
to
on. Can you do yours,
so-
please?
Yep. No, it's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. No
Come on
problem.
then, let's hear
So
yours
that was
then.
good then. What? Did I tell it? Yeah. Oh wow.
Come on, Meisty, let's hear yours.
I think that was it.
Up in physics is any vector that is 90 degrees from the plumb of the vector of acceleration.
What? Sorry, 90 degrees from plumb.
From the plumb.
That's
90 degrees
That's
from the
up.
plumb of acceleration.
That's the horizontal.
yeah. That's yeah. Mm.
So I said
You
it's 90
you call
you
the
just-
horizontal up?
It's 90 degrees from that.
No. You said 90 degrees from
Degrees
plumb.
From the plumb.
That's
It's
yeah. That's
any that is greater than that. It's any vector that's greater than that.
that's greater than perpendicular to
So
90
you do
degrees
admit
to
that.
plumb.
So you do admit that there's an acceleration.
What? So wait a minute. Let me go.
No, we're
Plum.
still dealing with your.
If plum is vertical, then 90 degrees from that would be horizontal, and then
Anything
greater than 90 degrees would be
anything greater than that. There you go.
wouldn't
Great.
wouldn't that be down?
So now you
That would be down, Ben.
That would be that would
anything
be
greater than the 90 degrees formed by a plum.
Would
So
be
the 90 degrees is horizontal.
yeah, and
So
then
anything greater than that
So
would
anything
be
greater
the
than that
opposite
down.
direction from up.
No.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, loving this,
No.
RC. You've done a good one.
No, absolutely not.
Up is defined as down. Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is not what I said.
It is.
So-
it is.
so-
This is being
so the-
recorded as well.
So that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
of
whole
course it
point
is.
here is
We've
so
had
the
some
whole
good
point
ones
is
from
here,
you.
you
We
guys-
had you didn't understand
That's
logic.
fine.
Then you calibrated water levels.
So, Bev, the
and
whole
then
point
today
is-
you've just
so the whole
defined
the whole
up
point-
as down.
Guys,
Brilliant.
it's okay. It's okay, guys. He's a teacher. It's okay.
Yeah, he's
and
physics
the pilot.
teacher.
And a pilot.
Yeah, I'm a pilot,
because-
guys. It's
because
okay. He's
you
a
guys-
pilot, man.
So because you guys define and recognize this acceleration that exists, I ask you the question. So where's that acceleration come from?
Who cares?
What?
You don't care now. Great obfuscation.
That's not obfuscation. You asked a question, I gave you an answer.
Which obfuscates.
It's there.
You learnt a new word. It's like the big shout out's gone out. It's like with shit guys, they're calling us for our obfuscations.
Man, I'm so.
Let's just use it, obfuscation.
Obfuscation.
Alright, guys.
I think Arsie's gonna make Helgi an FE quicker than the FEers can.
Yeah, I think so too.
I bet Helgi doesn't even know what RC is.
Don't what?
Yeah, do you know that RC's he has a model that he holds very dearly that makes him say things that no normal person should really say.
Yeah, I was like, I think the Earth is curved, man, but I think he's just speaking nonsense,
That's fine.
Yeah.
You guys have a good evening. I'm home now, and hope you guys have
see you later.
great one.
See you
Don't forget
later,
to
man.
come back now.
Yeah. See you later.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
Yeah, I think he's gonna convert Helgi.
Yeah. He's doing a better
Yeah,
job of that than we are.
I don't know about that, man.
I'm sorry.